Guys, please confirm to me. All of you are getting my voice on screen. Those are attending in online. Guys, please confirm to me. All of you are getting my voice on screen. Those are attending in online. Right. Guys, now please check it what we completed there in the last session. Right, sir. So in the last session, we understood what exactly the meaning, the requirement of Spring Boot. Then after that, we understood what are the various features of the Spring Boot. Okay. So different concepts here we understood there. Next one is one more point here we have to understand what are the key components of the Spring Boot. What are the key components of Spring Boot? Right, sir. Answer my point clearly. Key components in Spring Boot. Spring Boot framework has the following four components mainly. What are the various components here? First one is like what I'm telling this: Spring Boot starters, Spring Boot auto configurator, Spring Boot CLI, and Spring Boot activators. Understand, guys? So these are overall four components here we are going to understand. Once if we complete these four components there, then we are going to understand steps to prepare our approaches to create Spring Boot applications. There we are going to start the Spring Boot content clearly. First of all, let's understand this clearly one by one, all the content here. First of all, we have to start with what there is Spring Boot starters. What exactly the Spring Boot starters are existed, right? So what is this Spring Boot starters actually? What's the meaning of it? No, what's the meaning of it? Spring Boot starters, right? The Spring Boot starters. What's the meaning of it? No. Okay, guys. Now I'm asking one question. Do you not try to answer for it? Everybody, please respond for me. Our understanding is very important. This is direct question there. I'll give you how questions are asked in Spring Boot on the basis of this particular topic. I want to discuss with you, but first of all, understand it. What exactly the meaning of this Spring Boot starter? Say, for example, my requirement is what? Yeah, that's okay. Then my requirement is I want to prepare. All right, in a Spring-based applications. In a Spring-based applications, if you want to prepare a web application, if you want to prepare a web application, and if you want to prepare a web application which contains the database interaction, if you want to prepare a web application which contains the database interaction, then we have to use the following dependencies. Come on, guys. Now tell me what dependencies can we have to provide there? What exactly the dependencies can we have to provide there? Guys, now tell me, all of you answer for it. What dependencies can we have to provide here? In a Spring, especially I'm talking about like what is Spring. In a Spring, what are the various dependencies here we are able to provide? That's my question. Any idea? at very startup mode. Here, just I'm asking there. Now tell me spring-core version .jar. Am I right or not? Spring-core version .jar. See, then if you want to know that, then I'm able to give some example, direct example here. We can see this. I'm able to show all the jar files. What jar files here we are going to use there. Already I prepared one application there with the Spring Web MVC. With the Spring Web MVC, I prepared already some application there that I'm able to open like what there. External libraries. See this, how many jar files, guys? These many jar files here we are going to use. Right, so now these are the various jar files here we require. Some different internal dependencies are also be existed here. These many jar files here we require. Guys, understand it clearly. If you want to prepare a web application, how many jar files here we required? In the sense, these many jar files here we required. Of course, where JUnit related things are not required, already it is provided, the dependencies provided here separately. Of course, now JUnit is also required here, so the dependency is available here. Java Servlet API is required here. Apart from this, database related, MySQL database related things we required, commons logging, then Spring related, AOP, beans, context, core expression, JDBC, transaction, and after that web related, all the things here we required. As guys, then all of you are getting clarity on this point, what I'm telling you. If you want to prepare a Spring web application which contains to interact with, which is going to interact with the database there, how many dependencies here we are getting there? These many dependencies here we are able to catch. Okay. All right, so now here what I am telling now, all the above dependencies we are able to get by providing many more, or by providing more number of, by providing more dependencies configuration in a pom.xml file. More number of dependencies configurations in pom.xml file, in the pom.xml file. Okay, right, sir. Then apart from this, then what I'm telling there, it will increase number of configurations in a POM file. It will increase number of configurations in POM file. When we increase number of configurations in POM file, it is very much difficult. It is very much difficult to manage the POM file. It's very much difficult to manage the POM file with all this content here. It's not suggestible. As much as possible, we have to reduce the number of dependencies, number of configurations in our Spring configuration file. But unfortunately, so sorry, not configuration file, now POM file. Inside this, then these many, observe carefully, maintaining these many dependencies in the pom.xml file, POM file, is somewhat difficult in our content here. Right, sir, got it or not? So to overcome the above problem, Spring Boot has provided a solution in the form of, Spring Boot has provided a solution in the form of like what there, starter components. Spring Boot has provided a solution in the form of like what there, starter components. All right, then what exactly the starter component here, what we are able to get here, observe carefully. All right, sir, in the above context, Spring Boot starters are able to combine all the above dependent jars into a single jar file, and all the above dependencies configurations into a single dependency all the above dependencies are combined into like what there into a single dependency. Understand it clearly. All the above dependencies are combined into a single dependency in the form of a starter dependency. In the form of what there starter dependency. In the form of starter dependency. Now here I want to provide that example. What is that starter dependency example here we are able to provide? Guys, just give a minute. Yes, guys, just have taken 1 minute gap. Don't worry. Now try to recognize this. In the above context, Spring Boot starters are able to combine all the above dependent jars into a single jar file and all the above dependencies configurations into a single dependency in the form of a starter dependency. In the form of like what there starter dependency. Okay, understand it clearly. So, for example, right. So now anyway, this is the content here we are able to get starter dependency. Good. What is that starter dependency in the form of what here we are able to provide there? Simple. It would be like what there Springboard starter web. Springboard starter web. That's the dependency name. Starter web jar file. We can understand clearly. Okay. Right. This is one point here. We understood clearly. Then just this is like what the dependency, not jar file. No, just dependency. Now observe carefully. If we add the above, guys, understand the intention of Spring framework, how it able to provide that Spring framework. No, understand it clearly. If we add the above starter dependency in a pom.xml file, then Springboard will download all the dependencies. Springboard will download all the dependencies and Springboard will add all these dependencies all these dependencies to the Spring Boot application, Spring Boot project. That's it. Understand, guys, what exactly the point here I'm telling there? Nothing, sir. Just see, for example, how many jars are existed, guys, here? Clearly, no. So many jars are available here. For the so many jars, then what we require here, what dependencies here we have to provide in pom.xml file. Spring Core we have to provide, Spring Context we have to provide, Spring JDBC we have to provide, Spring Web we have to provide. All these configurations here we have to provide or not? Let's understand it clearly. So all these configurations, all these dependencies configurations we have to provide. So many configurations are going to be increased. So to reduce all these configuration details, there we have to go with what there we have to go with like what there combining all these dependencies to a single dependency and to get all the jar files here. So further purpose here we are able to use like what there this particular content Spring Boot starter web. Okay, all right. Right, sir. This is exactly the meaning of like what there Spring Boot. This is the main intention of the Spring Boot. Here only the Spring Boot advantage here we are getting. Okay. All right. So then after this, then what next one here we are going to provide here? What are the various examples for starter projects here I want to get? What exactly the starters here we are able to get? We want to get some starters there. What starters here we are able to get here? See, observe carefully here what I am telling there. Understand clearly. If we provide the above, if we provide the above Spring Boot starter web in the pom.xml file, then we are able to get the following jars into the Spring Boot project. Just we can understand what jars here we are able to get. Mainly here we are able to get what jars here. First of all, here we are able to get like what there Spring Boot starter, right, sir? Then we are inside this we are able to have some other content here. Spring Boot. This is another one. Of course, at present we may not aware about all the names, no, but I'm giving clarity. Spring Boot auto configurer, Spring Boot auto configurer. Then after this, Spring Boot starter logging. These many things here we are able to get in the case of like what there Spring Boot starter. This will come. Then apart from this one, next one is what the Spring Web here we are able to get. Spring Web. From this Spring Web, under this Spring Web, what we are able to get there. All right, understand this clearly. Okay, this is Spring Web is a simple jar file. We can understand. Then after this Spring Web, next one is like what the Spring Web MVC that we are able to get Spring Web MVC. After completion of this, Spring Boot starter Tomcat, Spring Boot starter Tomcat. Then inside this, what we are able to get here, some other inside this Spring Boot starter now Tomcat hyphen embedded core, Tomcat embedded core. Next one is what there Tomcat embedded login Julie. Something else, some internal components are available, many more. Just examples only here are given there, but like this here, many more. Right, sir. Yeah, that is Maven behavior that Maven is providing like that. Understand it clearly. Maven is providing like that content directly. Okay. Now Spring Boot is doing this kind of work with the help of internally the content here. Okay. All right. That concept name is the transitive dependencies. Charan, then in the Maven, the topic name is what? The transitive dependencies. Understand it? But here in Spring Boot, the concept is like, and moreover, observe careful. A simple point I'm telling there. Are able to get these many jar files no? Because of only Spring Web like this. These many jar files we're able to get. Okay. But all of them are coming in the form of like what? These jar files. Jar files are also be combined into the single jar file. That single jar files we are getting there clearly. And moreover, even in the case of even in the case of like what I'm telling there, Spring framework, in the case of this Maven, even if we configure Spring Web dependency in a POM.xml file, but Tomcat Servlet API, we have to configure explicitly. Then Tomcat dependencies we have to provide explicitly. Yeah. Yeah, of course, we can customize that starter dependencies also, but there we have to go for custom configurations. It's possible. Yeah, custom configurations content is available that we have to configure. And not only that, even we can prepare your own your own starters also. But we have to do some customization. There is a way for that we can do. Right. Nice. So this is exactly the point here. What I'm telling that these many things here we are getting there. So finally, what is the conclusion we are getting, guys? Now tell me, all of you know, Spring Boot starter. What it is providing? It simplifies POM.xml file configurations or not? Everybody, please respond for me. By understanding these points, it simplifies POM.xml file configurations or not? No response, guys. It simplifies POM.xml file configurations, the total, right? So this is starter components that we are getting there. Okay, leave this one. Next one is the second feature is like what there? Spring Boot auto configurator. Spring Boot auto configurator. Auto configurator. That's okay. Name is like this. What is the meaning of this auto configurator, guys? Now tell me. Right, sir. I want to ask some concepts here. Now try to understand this clearly. If you're having Spring Boot, just nothing about it. Now try to understand it clearly. All right, guys. All of you understand it clearly. What I'm telling you. Everybody, observe carefully. If we prepare Spring web application, Spring based web applications, then we have to provide the following configurations in a Spring configuration file. What configurations can we are able to provide now? What configurations here we have to provide? Handler mappings configurations. Of course, we are not aware about it, about the Spring web module there, but in the future we are going to understand clearly. But so many concepts here we are able to understand. All right, so now handler mappings and view resolvers, like what there, depending on the concepts, because so many configurations here we are able to provide. Okay. Next one is what there, after completion of this. After completion of this, depends. Yeah, just let me check this one inside the beans now on all the concepts here, and so on and so on. After providing this, then what next one here we have to do is, after providing all the above configurations, after providing all the above configurations, we have to use maybe then along with above configurations or after providing above configurations, we have to use the annotations. Like what annotations here we have to use, guys? Now tell me. At the rate configuration, or like what there, at the rate component scan, right? Now next one is what there, at the rate enable auto configuration, all right, and so on. So many annotations there we are able to use. Of course, auto wide anyway we have to use, case no problem. Even in the case of Spring Boot also auto wide annotation we have to use. But after this, these many things here we have to use them. All right. Then what next one here I'm telling there. So providing Spring configuration file in the above context, providing Spring configuration file and its configurations and using the above annotations explicitly is a bit complex design, or maybe instead of saying that, is a burdenful, is a bit burdenful thing to the developers. Understand, guys, what I'm telling there is a burdenful thing to the developers. Here to reduce burden to the developers, and to make a spring applications as a lightweight. Instead of saying that lightweight applications, to make Spring applications as simple applications, Spring Boot has provided a feature in the form of auto Spring Boot auto, right, so Spring Boot auto configurator. All right, now this is a feature it has provided here. All right, then how it will come for us? Now? Then where we are able to use it? Yeah, then it will come. Jayant Agarwal, it will come in web model and all these things. Not required to think about it. Enable auto configurations is also existed here. Just it is requesting to the containers to manage all the configurations automatically. By default, it is true. That's why we are not using that. At the rate configurations, we are using them. At the rate configuration annotation, we are using now. So to use that, we required some. We need to take some permission from container. There we are able to use what there. We need to enable auto configurations. Right, sir. Then by default it's true. That's why we are not using that. But internally, it's also existed here. All right. Now all of you observe carefully. Now, what's the point here? I'm telling there in the form of Spring Boot auto configurator was provided. Okay. Then what this Spring Boot auto, when it will come for us now? When we are able to get it? Yeah, when we are able to get it. When this auto configurator is coming into our Spring application. That's the question, guys. Right, sir. When we are able to get into the project, then when we are going to use them, that's a different story. But when we are able to get into the project, when we are able to get them. All right, so now observe carefully. In Spring Boot applications, in Spring Boot applications, in Spring Boot applications, when we add Spring Boot starter web dependency, when we add Spring Boot starter web dependency in build file, that means in pom.xml file, automatically what it is coming, guys? Now tell me. Automatically Spring Boot auto configurator will come automatically. Spring Boot auto configurator, just you can understand the name like this only. Auto configurator will come and it will perform the following actions. What actions it able to perform there? Observe carefully. Or else maybe just simple one or two actions only, not total actions here. It will come and it will resolve all the views and view resolvers and view resolvers in Spring WebMVC applications without in Spring WebMVC applications without providing without having Spring configuration file. That is in the case of the Spring Boot applications here we are able to use and or also without having Spring configuration file. Observe carefully. Right, sir. Observe carefully. And if we use at the rate Spring Boot application annotations at a main class, guys, observe carefully. And if you use at the rate Spring Boot application at main class, then it will avoid the explicit utilization of at the rate like what their configuration comma at the rate component scan comma then what next one here at the rate enable auto configuration. Right, so almost all, then what I'm telling there at the rate Spring Boot application is equal to, it's a combination of all three annotations. What three annotations we can understand clearly? At the rate configuration plus at the rate component scan plus what next one here? At the rate enable auto configurations. All right. Now these are the annotations here we are able to use clearly. The content here we can understand clearly. Jayant Agarwal, do you know about this Spring WebMVC? Yeah, then WebMVC content. Do you have an awareness on it? WebMVC? Yeah. View is representing like what there? A JSP page. View resolver is what there? Which JSP page has to be selected. In a Spring WebMVC, every JSP page is nothing but what there? View. Okay. depending on the requirement, which JSP here we have to select. That would be identified by what? View resolver. Understand it? No response, Jayant? Yeah, exactly. Right. Perfect. All right, guys. Now tell me, guys, all of you now tell me, by using this Spring Boot application or maybe Spring Boot auto configurator, again now tell me, lot of work is reduced or not? The total configuration file here we avoid it automatically. All the configurations are going on internally. So a lot of work is avoided or not? A lot of work is avoided for the developers or not? No response, guys. First of all, now I'm asking there. I'm asking one question to all of you guys. Now try to answer for it. In Spring applications, we are going to write that what there. We have to write either like what there Spring configuration file, or we have to go with what there like Java based configurations. Like this, we have to do something in the case of Spring applications. But in Spring Boot, not required to write the configuration clauses, and not required to write like what there, not required to write like what there, the Spring configuration file. But everything could be done by auto configurator internally, right? That Spring Boot auto configurator will do every work even without having Spring configuration file and without having configuration classes. So then the main problem with the developers in Spring applications is what they're maintaining configuration file or maintaining configuration classes. Java based configurations, we have seen that maintaining configuration files and maintaining configuration classes. That's the main work. That's the main tension for developers now. The main burdenful thing for the developers now. But what Spring Boot is doing now, the Spring Boot is able to remove the total configuration file or the total configuration classes or not. Come on, guys. Everything is provided by Spring Boot starter web or not. Everything is provided by Spring Boot starter components or not. And with a single annotation, at the Spring Boot application now, automatically everything is available to our Spring application or not. So that is an advantage of like what there Spring Boot. Just we have to fill it. The Spring Boot is reducing the stuff of the Spring applications. Spring Boot is able to reduce the total infrastructure of the Spring application. Yes, sir. All of you are getting it or not? Guys, then if you're not giving response, nothing is going to be clear. Nothing is going to be done here. Time to time, I'm asking these questions. Now here itself, I'm giving more clarity. What exactly the benefits we are getting from Spring Boot when compared with the Spring applications? What in the point of developer, what advantage the developer is getting there? See, the number one, point number one, all the configurations are auto configured. To simplify these auto configurations, no, all the dependencies are might be combined into like what there a single dependency. Not required to provide more number of dependencies, not required to provide even configuration file and Java based configurations, nothing else. Now almost now the Spring Boot application is almost all becoming as a core Java application or not? The Spring Boot application is almost the same as like what their core Java application or not? Yeah, that's the point here I'm telling to you clearly now. Everybody understand this clearly. And yesterday I think in YouTube, just I opened that YouTube, just where I checked it, what questions are asked in Spring Boot like this, I'm checking there, where in a company might be 3 years of experience that interview is going on, where I identified few questions from the introduction part directly, few questions. First interviewer, she asked to one girl, the student, I think so, she is just pursuing student. She asked to that girl, not pursuing, I think so, 3 years of experience interview, I think so. I didn't concentration on it, but anyway, questions are coming. She asked to her, just tell me something about you. And she has given some information, brief introduction, that's okay. The next one is, she asked directly, what do you know about Spring Boot? Can we explain that? She has given some keywords or some information she explained. After that, tell me what are the features of the Spring Boot? What are the features of the Spring Boot? She asked for that. And the student, she has given the opposite person, though she is attending for interview. She has given the information like what there. Then few features she has given there. But in our class, how many features of Spring Framework you understood, guys? She has not given even 5 features. She has given only 2 to 3 features. But now here we have discussed nearly how many features there? 20 number of features here we discussed there. Out of these 20 number of features, all the 20 number of features are not mandatory to give there. At least the solid 6 or 7 features if we talk now, then we are able to get job. Understand clearly. What features here we have to talk there? At least now the key component, what I am discussing now. First one is like what there? Spring Boot auto configurator here I provided here. Next one is what the starter components. Spring Boot starters and the Spring Boot auto configurator. Now I'm discussing that. At least if we give these features, no, then interviewer will satisfy about it. Along with that, embedded servers. Easily we can understand embedded servers, and like what the embedded databases. Like these many features. At least if we give, no, automatically that interviewer will satisfy about it. That's why here I'm telling about all this content, guys. Everybody understand it clearly now. Okay, don't neglect. Even on the base of this introduction, also we are having number of questions there in outside. Direct question. Tell me the features of Spring Boot. At least 5 to 6 features. If you give clearly important features, then easily they're able to understand. 3 features are very clear. Embedded servers are available. Guys, now tell me what servers are embedded inside the Spring Boot. Now tell me. Then that interviewer has asked the same question. What are the embedded servers in Spring Boot? Like just give information to me. What are the embedded servers inside the Spring Boot? How many servers are available in Spring Boot there? Embedded servers, no? Overall, 3 servers, 3 things are existed. What are the 3 things, no? Tomcat. Next one is what? The Jetty, not Jet2. Arey, then try to pronounce it properly. Jetty server. Then Undertow, Jetty, and a Tomcat. But what that the student has given information there in that, she has given information like what there? Maven server. Maven server, she has given information there. Understand it? But unfortunately, that interviewer is also be accepting the answer there. Okay, all right, sir. Anyway, Spring Boot has 3 servers, embedded servers: the Tomcat, Jetty, and Undertow. Next one, Spring Boot has some embedded databases. Embedded databases are available. Already we discussed about it, that we can understand. Then apart from this, Spring Boot has the embedded build tools. What are the embedded build tools there? What are the embedded build tools are available? Maven, Gradle. These 2 things are existed here. Maven and Gradle. At least you have to remember them. Right, sir. These are the simple questions all. And the basics only you are getting that questions there. If you study this document properly, then you can answer for any type of question there in a Spring interviews, in a Spring Boot interviews. That's why I'm giving clarity now. Okay, now leave this one anyway. Right, so now this is completed here. Auto configurator that we completed clearly. Yeah, head rate configuration to bring XML when into Java class, enable auto configuration to get the permission from. Yes, exactly, Jayant. Right. Perfect. By default, it is enabled. By default, enabled. We can disable also. Okay. Components can we know already, right? Fine. Next one is what? Next one here after completion of this. Third one is Spring Boot CLI. What is this third one, guys? Spring Boot CLI. All right, guys. Now tell me, what is this Spring Boot CLI? What is this CLI, guys? Any answer? Any awareness on it? Spring Boot CLI. Command line interface. Nice. Spring Boot CLI is what their command line interface. That's perfect. All right. So now Spring Boot CLI command line interface is a Spring software. Spring Boot CLI is a Spring software. Spring software. It will provide a very good environment. A very good environment to run and test Spring Boot applications from command prompt. guys, just I'm asking one question to you. Try to answer for it. In the case of Java 9 features, in Java 9 features, J shell tool is available or not? J shell. Are you aware about it? J shell. What is the use of it? What it is able to provide there? Just instantly, if you want to check your Java program, whether it is running fine or not, whether the content is right or not, J shell. All right. Small Java codes. All right. So where we are using that J shell, right? Just to run and to check and to run our Java programs instantly. There we are using J shell, right? In the same way, Spring Boot has provided CLI to run and test Spring Boot applications instantly. In general, if you want to run any Spring Boot application there, of course, we have to execute it in IDE directly, but we have to deploy it into the server, then only we are able to execute it. But instantly, if you want to test our Spring Boot application, a separate interactive mode was provided by Spring Boot. That interactive mode is what there? CLI. Then if you are using that CLI, then what it able to do there? All right, sir, observe carefully. When we run Spring Boot application by using, when we run Spring Boot application by using CLI software, then internally CLI, what it will do there? Internally CLI will use Spring Boot starters and Spring Boot auto configurator, Spring Boot starter and Spring Boot auto configurator components to resolve all the dependencies, right? And to execute, in order to execute dependencies, resolve all the dependencies and executing Spring Boot application. That means whatever the ground is required for executing Spring Boot application, that everything could be prepared by that CLI. CLI is like what there, and execute Spring Boot application. CLI is what there, right? Command line interface. You're able to prepare the total ground to execute the Spring application. That Spring application is going to be executed here now. Answer my point clearly now. All right, sir. Then one more point I'm giving clarity, guys. Now tell me. Previously I've given some information there. Now tell me. By using Spring framework, in which languages we are able to prepare our Spring Boot applications? Guys, now tell me. Spring Boot allows 2 languages to prepare applications. What are the 2 languages? Can you tell me? Spring Boot allows 2 languages to execute our, that means to prepare our applications. What are the 2 languages? No, Java and as well as like what there, Groovy. Yes, perfect. Java and what next one here? Groovy. Right, they are the 2 languages are allowed by the Spring Boot. All right. Now what I'm telling here, to execute Spring Boot applications through command prompt, we have to use then what we have to use? We have to use a simple command, Spring. Yes, sir. Then what is the command here? We have to use there Spring. That means Spring Boot command line interface is provided a command like what there, Spring command. We have to use Spring command in command prompt. Of course, I'll show one program there. No need to worry for it. How to prepare that Groovy script, then how to execute that, then everything I'm able to discuss there inside this content here. Okay, fine. Right, guys. Now this is about like what is Spring Boot CLI. Then what we are having the content here. How to execute it in the sense just I'm able to give some clarity. No need to worry for it. But still, if you want to know about it, Spring run hello dot Groovy. That's enough, guys. Now in this is the syntax here we're able to use Spring run hello dot Groovy. That's enough. Automatically that content is going to be executed. That's another one. And the most important thing, another thing is like what there, Spring Boot activators. What is the next one, guys? Now tell me Spring Boot activators. Guys, now tell me what you are aware about the Spring Boot activators now. Any idea, guys? Activators. Previously, I given some kind of information. One simple word I given, guys. One simple word. One simple word I have given there. Tell me. Then previously I given that. Not Jent, not like this. Don't worry. No, it is not like this. What you thought, it is different one. Again, then previously I given, right, health checks, right? Perfect answer. That before that health check, I have used one more statement. The very first statement in Spring Boot class I have given. Please recognize this. That very first statement in Spring Boot class I have given. Can you tell me what is it? One word I have used there. That word is very much famous. I think people are forgotten. Okay, then activators, a health check and metrics and loggings. It's okay. Then they are common, very common. But please recognize the very first definition I given for Spring Boot. There I have used one word. All right, I'm going to give that information. I think you didn't remember that. No, not manage. No. Not open-ended configurations. No, not like this. Standalone. All these things are okay. They're okay. But I've given some information. Now try to understand it. Spring Boot activators. Spring Boot activators are providing number of. Please recognize this watch. Number of production grade, or simply speaking, production grade or production ready. Yes, sir. Got it or not? What is the word we have used there? Have you remembered it? Production grade or production ready features. Okay. Production grade or production ready features. What are these production grade or production ready features now? Features like, what are these? Let's see some of the examples here. All right. The first one is providing there Spring Boot activators. Spring Boot activators are able to provide. Spring Boot activators are able to provide a very good environment. Very good environment to manage and monitor our application by using HTTP endpoints. What is this HTTP endpoint? I'll discuss with it. Just we can understand they are nothing but URLs. By providing some predefined URLs by using the predefined HTTP endpoints. Endpoint is nothing but what there as of now we can understand URL. Some predefined URLs. That is point number one. Yes, sir. All of you are getting it or not? Predefined URL. Okay, they are nothing but what their endpoints. So Spring Boot is able to provide some predefined URLs to check and monitor, to manage and monitor our application by these endpoints. Okay, these endpoints are providing what? These endpoints are providing like what there? All right, these endpoints are providing what? Observe carefully. Even not like this. Here I'm giving directly points here. Here, these endpoints are able to provide the details of our application. These endpoints are able to provide the details of our applications, health, comma, editing, comma, metrics, okay, automatically to our application. Through our application, that means through the endpoint. These endpoints are able to provide, yeah, these endpoints are able to provide the details of our applications, health, editing, information, metrics automatically to our application. But all these things I'm able to show guys, not immediately. In the applications, I'm going to show directly. Right, a health check in the sense like what there, where the server is up or down, or the server related thing. Metrics in the sense like what there, then how many threadings are coming there, then what, how many thread pools are coming there, then these kind of concepts here. Okay, then all the things I will discuss there. Effectively, we are going to see so many things, so many content here. We can understand clearly, right, sir? Next one is after completion of this. All right, sir. Then, if you want to, if you want to get, if you want to get activated support, Springboard activated support in Springboard applications, then we have to add. Then we have to add the following. Then we have to add the following starter dependency in the pom.xml file. What we have to provide there, just we can understand. Simple dependency. And then here also here we have to provide like what there dependency. Then inside this dependency here we have to provide like what there. First one is like what we have to provide, sir. I think so. Group ID, right? Right. 1 minute. Group ID. What is this group ID here? We can understand. Arg dot spring framework dot. Right. Then after that, boot is a package actually. Is a group ID. Then after this, artifact ID. Then I remember a little bit, guys. Not required to remember this. Just we can get it from Maven dependencies. There we are able to get it clearly. Okay. Then artifact ID here we are getting there. Next one is like what there. Springer boot starter. Springer boot starter activator. See that starter dependencies are very simple to remember. Why? Because Spring Boot starter is common. The next one is Spring Boot web or Spring Boot activator, like this only. Ending symbol is only be changed here, but all the remaining concepts are very same. Okay, that we have to understand clearly. Practice now. This is about something like what there Spring Boot activators content here we are understanding. Okay, all right. Then what about the next one? You know, after completion of this, the next thing is like what there steps to prepare Spring Boot applications. How steps are going to be used to prepare the Spring Boot applications, all the concepts, in how many ways we are able to prepare the Spring Boot applications. I want to first of all, before the steps, no, then what I am telling to you, approaches to prepare Spring Boot applications. How many approaches are available? What approaches are available? That we have to understand clearly. Right, sir. What are the various approaches here we are going to use there? First one is approach number one, using simple Maven project in Eclipse or in IntelliJ IDEA. Either of the things here we can use the simple Maven project. What do we have to? Next one is what there by using STS. STS is very good in the case of the Spring Boot applications and all these things. Another one is what they're using Spring Boot initializer. Cheddar, not ER, initializer. Okay, and last one is like what there Spring Boot CLI, command line interface. Spring Boot command line. That's it. In these 4 ways, we are able to execute our content. No. Then Amarendra, that is not a spelling mistake. Activator. I think you didn't identify that word. I changed it. Even I'm checking for it. Activator. Previously, unexpectedly, I've written it. Activator. I have not written it anywhere. Now, please check it. I changed it. Have you seen anything here? No. Activator. There we can identify it. There's an activator, not activator. Okay. Right, yes. What are their use now? Amarinder, then just now I discussed some concepts. Have you understood that? Have you understand this heading, this part? Up to this part. Just now I completed the topic, right? Yeah, that is the meaning of actuators. Actuators. Okay, that's it. Not more than that. But in the application development, when we completed application there, I can show that. Okay, fine. That's all, guys. Now this is about the next one is in these many ways here we are able to prepare our applications. How to prepare and execute these applications, I'm going to show in all the 4 cases now. By that we are able to get some clarity. Okay, there we can understand how to use CLI also. Then where I'm going to prepare some like what there some groovy script also I'm able to prepare that I'm able to execute that directly through this content. Okay, right, guys. Then tomorrow I'll see this application development directly. I think, guys, then I have one question there from all of you. Jayant Agarwal, just wait. I will discuss about it. Why you hurry for it? Then you are talking about that command line interface. So many topics are involved there. Not even like single content. I will explain. Then whatever the thought you are having, it's wrong as of now, right? It's not good. It's wrong, guys. Then I have a doubt about all of you know. I think all of you are having Maven awareness, right? All of you are having Maven awareness, right? Charan, yes, guys. Everybody is having Maven awareness, right? Yeah, must. It is must. Without having Maven awareness, not possible to understand, guys. Please recognize this. Everybody must have Maven understanding, right? Otherwise, if any of you are not aware about it, I will send some videos to you about my previous batch Maven videos. I'm able to send to you. There we can get the content. There we can use. Okay. All right. Number of almost 10 classes are available for the Maven. Then I'm able to send to you so that you can go through that, so that you can complete it. Okay. Yeah. Shall we meet in tomorrow, guys, with application development, direct application development, and tomorrow. Right. I'm able to show how simple that Spring Boot applications, very startup application there. Then we can understand it clearly. Thank you. Thanks a lot, guys. Then tomorrow we'll see the remaining part. Okay. Thank you. Only these classes only, not then today is completed there at morning schedule. Yeah, I need to go for my preparation, sir. Some new concepts I'm updating now. I want to go for it. Thank you. What videos, Jayant? Yes. Okay. Fine. Nice. Thank you.